hey, if this Bela Act is signed, this GNU is going to collapse. It is time for Politics Update. Welcome. Before I play the video of President Ramaphosa and Helen Zille, allow me to give a little bit of background to those who are left behind. You would remember that before the national election, President Ramaphosa signed the Bela Act into law and hanged clots 4 and 5 because there were some organizations which did not agree with those clots 4 and 5. He gave them a period for them to submit their suggestions. Now, after that period has elapsed, the clear house of the national unity agreed that the bill must not be returned to Parliament. It must be signed and implemented. That has given President Ramaphosa powers to fully sign it and instruct the Minister of Basic Education to fully implement it. Of course, it might take some time for it to be implemented because the minister needs to draft norm, standard, and regulation under this bill. Here is the interesting part. The DA always threatens to leave if there is something that they don't agree with. After the election, the DA signed into Government of National Unity. And they said if they don't receive the numbers of ministers that they want, they will pull out of the GNU. And they did not receive the numbers that they wanted. They never pulled out. Few months ago, they said, if President Ramaphosa signed the Bela Act, we are going to leave the GNU and pull out our ministers. And now the Bela Act is signed. They did not leave. And I want to believe that their fear is that if they leave the GNU, they will be opening doors for EFF and MK to get in, which is something that they don't want to see it happening. Let's watch this video.
In their final report, the parties agreed that the Basic Education Law Amendments Act, Bela Act, should not be sent back to Parliament to make changes to the sections that were in contention. The Government of National Unity Clearinghouse participants agreed that the Act should be fully implemented. This view was endorsed by the leaders of the parties to the GNU in a meeting I held with them today. I accordingly advised them that I would proceed to sign a presidential proclamation to bring the Basic Education Law Amendment Act, the Bela Act, into operation from today. I have instructed the Minister of Basic Education to see to the full implementation of the Bela Act. I have also instructed the Minister to do what is necessary, as customary with any law, to ensure that the time frame of implementation, particularly with regard to the preparedness of the system for universal grade R access and the consequential regulations setting out the norms and standards, are prepared. All bodies and officials responsible for the implementation of this Act are required at all times to act in accordance with the Constitution of our country, the law, and the relevant policies and regulations.
One is that the Bela Act will be implemented in its entirety. The other part is that Siviwe Gwachube, the Minister of Basic Education, first has to draw up norms, standards, and regulations to govern the implementation of the contentious sections. That is Section 4, D, E, and F, and Section 5A and C. So the President has signed the entire Act into law, and we're aware of that, and that was an agreement that came out of the clearinghouse mechanism and out of the task team that reported to the clearinghouse mechanism. But the important point is that Minister Siviwe Gwachube gets to ensure that the norms, standards, and regulations are there before those sections are implemented.